This is RE0 Remastered Edition. I'm Ancient Angelus, and who likes co-op puzzles? Because we're about to have another co-op puzzle. Similar to that of the hookshot, 0A. We have to stand at different parts of the room and hit the switches in sequence. Wesker has to hit the 0 button, and Rebecca gets to hit the A button. It changes with each playthrough, by the way. You can't just anticipate what the computer says. You have to actually look at the letter and the number and do it in that order. It opens the sword doors. But the only one that we really need to care about now is the one that was to my right, and for some reason I walked out of the room. And then immediately realized I went the wrong way. The front door opens, but it's useless to us now because that's part of a puzzle that we haven't gotten an important piece to. The other door is the exit to the training facility, which we will use later. But of course, the exit doesn't matter to these guys because they got much bigger problems. Oh boy, yeah. I had a bit of a problem just picking this stuff up. I'm slowing this down to show you the finicky nature a lot of these old RE games have, where they put these items that you have to pick up right next to something that gives you like a small dialogue option, like, oh, these chemicals look suspicious or whatever. You shouldn't do that because it makes trying to pick up whatever you're trying to pick up more annoying, like pixel hunting annoying. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I usually don't have a problem. For some reason, I just couldn't. It took me about a good 30 seconds just to pick up that blue herb, which I never actually needed. This is a good thing to have because there's one enemy in the entire game that inflicts poison on you. And the giant chess piece room, which admittedly is cool, but you know, you're probably not practical for a training facility. You have to match the pieces to the location on the smaller chessboard. And now we have our final piece to the demon statue. Now we can finally complete that puzzle that we started pretty much right when we entered the mansion. The not mansion. And I found some flame rounds, which I would say it's probably the best ammo for the grenade launcher in this particular game. If not for anything else, but just the fact that the leechmen are weak to it. I mean, the acid rounds are better for like something like the scaly enemies, the scale variety, but for zombies and leechmen, the flame rounds will probably be the best. In all the games though, it's never the grenade rounds as being the best. They've always been kind of mediocre at best. And then they added the freeze rounds in Nemesis, which actually I thought those were pretty cool. Nemesis was particularly weak against them. He didn't like me very much when I had those. Hell, he didn't like me very much even when I didn't have those, which I appreciated. And I showed him how much I appreciated it. Yes, secret hidden door. And the one enemies in the entire game that poison you, the spiders. In all the other RE games, you can usually run by them. But in this one in particular, I felt the need to kill them because of the AI teammate. If I run by him, there's no guarantee that she's going to run by him just the same.
I'm almost there.
I'm glad I could be of service. Time to go inside.
kinky. Anyway, yeah, this this next small puzzle is just, it's kind of another mathematics one. It's just you have to kind of gauge the amount of output so you get the power back on just right. It's just up, up, down, up, up. Nothing too spectacularly complicated. And now we've opened a new entrance downstairs that we can take.
You are wasting your time. I have already claimed this place for myself, which means you are trespassing. And I am very territorial.
It just doesn't make sense. Do you honestly believe this to be the real identity of that crazy young man? Impossible. But if somehow it is true, then Umbrella will be finished.
If the old conspiracy against Dr. Marcus is revealed, Mr. Spencer's career will be over. Not to mention ours, too. So, the time has come at last.
What are you going to do?
I will simply say goodbye to Umbrella. The biological weapon utilizing the T-virus has almost been completed. Our only remaining task is to acquire combat data.
You can't be serious. I refuse to abandon my work. I have finished the research on the T-virus, but I need a little more time to complete the more powerful G-virus.
Do as you wish. I will follow my initial plan and lure the STARS members into the mansion. Their superior combat training should make them perfect test subjects.
Fine. In the meantime, something must be done about that madman. As I recall, URC is equipped with a self-destruct device in the basement. I'll find it, set it off, and annihilate the place to nothing more than a mass of rubble.
I can't. Hold on. Oh.
Now it's a race against the clock to go save your partner. No monkeys get in my way. Anyway, something that never sat right with me with RE0, it kind of made it a little like have a more shoehorned in feel, was the whole idea that Wesker and Birkin are just sitting in a room just being evil, like no real purpose, just spying and being evil. Like, I kind of expect that kind of stuff from Wesker, especially after the events of Resident Evil 4, if you ever played Separate Ways. He's just sitting in a room looking at cameras and smirking to himself, which is, that's just so Wesker. But Birkin, I never really pegged him for being just outright evil. Like, I always pegged him as, like, he should be in his lab working on the G-Virus as they speak. Like, he would not be there giving a crap about the train. He'd be too wrapped up in his work. I don't know. That's just my take on him.
Rebecca! Hang on. I'll pull you up.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Just keeping my word. We promised to cooperate with each other. Remember?
This is Rebecca, over.
Rebecca, this is Enrico. Have you managed to locate Cohen yet? Over. Rebecca, answer me.
No, sir. I have not found him yet. I'll continue to search for him, over.
Rebecca,
My first mission, and I've already disobeyed orders. So much for my great law enforcement career. Oh well, I probably won't live long enough to worry about it. Billy, I just need to know. I need to know the truth. Did you kill 23 people? I'm not going to judge you. I just want to know the truth.
it was around this time last year. Our unit was ordered to Africa to intervene in a civil war. Our mission was to raid a hideout of some guerrilla forces located deep inside the jungle. But the hideout was far away from our entry point. Some died from the heat. Others were killed by the enemy. In the end, only 4 of us survived. Only, there was no guerrilla hideout.
What do you mean?
The idiots in charge had us operating based on wrong information. But we couldn't just go back home empty-handed, oh no. Our leader ordered us to attack an innocent village.
Get rid of them! Kill them all!
Please, sir! Ceasefire immediately!
Shut up! Do it!
No! Don't! Stop!
So did you execute those innocent people?
Forget about it. Doesn't matter anymore. That was then, this is now. Besides, you said you wouldn't judge me.
I'm not judging you, but it does matter. Look, now my people think you killed those MPs in the van, but I don't think you did. It was those zombie dogs, right? When they attacked the van, you were able to escape. Isn't that right?
You don't get it. I've only got 2 choices left. Either report to the Marines and serve out my sentence, or keep on running for as long as I can. That's all.
So, Wesker in Africa, huh? That sounds familiar. Yeah, so if you don't save Rebecca within, like, I want to say, like, 5 minutes, she will die. And that will be an instant game over state, which, for me, would mean complete game over since I am doing a no-save run. What I'm doing right now, is called the food chain puzzle, I believe. You have to light the torches in order from the lowest on the food chain to the highest. For instance, the buck gets eaten by the wolf. The steed tramples the wolf. The tiger can kill the steed. The snake poisons the tiger. And the hawk eats the snake. Now, the funny thing is that little cutscene we just saw proves that Chris Redfield wasn't the first one to go to Africa and start killing people. It was actually Billy, allegedly. Oh my god, did this game just make me defend Chris Redfield? I like Resident Evil 5, but what the fuck, game? Come on. But I mean, it's a little disconcerting when you go to Africa and you see how Wesker infected all these people, and you see these weird Chinese zombies for some reason, just because people had this big outcry against the black people in Africa, I guess. Oh, and yeah, these roaches, they don't even notice you walk into the room. But that key is very important if you want to have a really super-powered handgun. Now, I don't need a handgun during this run, but since I'm going for the all-weapons trophy, you have to have, on at least 2 runs, upgrade both Billy and Rebecca's handgun. I'd already upgraded Billy's at one point. And the funny thing about the case that the parts are in is the combination is etched on the side, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a lock on the case when you have the combination written right next to it. So that's a Resident Evil thing. Yeah, if you're ever in the situation where you are conflicted as to which handgun to upgrade with those parts, I would highly recommend upgrading Billy's handgun instead of Rebecca's Samurai Edge, because Billy's has a increased critical hit chance. I want to say it's like 0.75 higher chance to pop zombie heads and all that. And here's some hunters from Resident Evil 1. Now, the weird thing about this situation is it could easily be Rebecca here, and she's watching the whole thing. So, if you look at her character from Resident Evil 1, or Remake, there's a point where she gets trapped in a room with a hunter by herself, and she just pretty much curls up in the corner, scared. And she faced them down before. Of course, this is, if you're playing as Chris. She's faced them down before, though. So she really should have expected them, and she shouldn't be that scared and need Chris to come and save her. It's just an odd discrepancy. But I'll have to pick up on that topic in the next video. Until then, this is Ancient Angelus saying, see ya!